Hello and welcome. This is Tanya Brown, your spiritual business coach, and today I want to talk to you about the top lessons I learned in 2020 that can help you find your ground and flourish in 2021. The first thing I want to talk about is the power of the pivot. We went into 2020 with so many goals and expectations, some of them lofty, some of them minimal. We had a vision of what that year was going to look like. And like all of us, we went in with excitement, and then by March, our plans were dashed. The thing that I learned, and again, going back to the pivot, I learned how to get myself out of the bind. All my experiences were basically in person. A lot of I was planning a ton of business events, networking, and so forth. And once I got out of my quarantine fog, because all of us deal with stress and anxiety in various ways, and for me, I just kind of went into my shell with my guides and just continued communicating with them while the world was kind of stopping. But when I did get my footing back and kind of wake up from the quarantine fog, I just started to put my things from in person to online. And the thing that I found so interesting about this was it wasn't a big adjustment. It was very simple, in fact, simple and straightforward, and it wasn't very complicated. And I think a lot of us, when it comes to business, we get so mirrored up in the strategy, the visual, the complications, and so forth. And that actually leads me to another one of my points is it doesn't have to be complicated. It can actually be simple. I know an entrepreneur years ago had said to me the term KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And sometimes it's actually that. And I learned that when looking at my 2009, every year, I do a business review. And I look at what's working for me and what's not working for me. And when I did this in 2019, I determined that certain things that I was doing just for fun and for giggles was actually profitable. I wasn't doing it with the idea of a monetary gain. I was doing it because, it's the internet. I'm always doing something there. And this was just fun and, breezy, and I was making money from it. Who knew? But again, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, sometimes it doesn't have to be that complicated. I can't tell you how many people, a friend of mine just reached out to me and asked me if I could help her friend who's an entrepreneur do her business plan. And I said, well, my business plans are basically in my head. I don't map it out on paper. I have a vision in my head, and I've noticed, and I've said this in other videos, with me when it comes to manifestation, got that word wrong, manifestation and bringing things to light, it's easier for me to not put it on paper and work from the mind out. And that's how I manifest so easily. And we're going to talk about that in another video. But just going back to the three things that I learned, the power of the pivot, going from in-person events to online events, and doing this easily, surprisingly enough, because the world is all online right now. Thanks to Zoom and so many different platforms, we're able to connect with anybody all over the world, as long as we have a modem and we have internet and Wi-Fi, whatever. We can connect with anybody. I was talking to somebody in Thailand the other day, and Canada, you name it. I have a mentoring client that I work with who's in Australia. There is no limit. And that's the other thing that I learned this year, or in looking back on last year, is no limits. And that's actually when everybody says, oh, what is your word for the new year? It's just no limits. I discovered that thinking small does not help you in any way, shape, or form. Limiting yourself is doing a disservice to yourself. And think bigger. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, think bigger. The sky, there is no ceiling, you know? So again, we're talking about the power of the pivot, thinking no limits when it comes to your thinking and your expectations. Um, keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not trying to insult you, but seriously, sometimes we complicate these things so much. I can't tell you how many clients that I work with, and prior to working with me, they've been working on their website for like a gazillion years. And somebody said to me, asked me about my website because I'm in the process of redoing my website. A good percentage of my clients I don't get from my website. And again, that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother training, but it's all about looking back on the previous year, seeing where your income is coming from, and focusing your energy in that regard, not ignoring the other aspects of your business funnel where you get your income, but focusing on areas in which you are getting the most income from. But also, and just for me, I looked at my numbers. I was doing my tax information, gathering everything together, doing my first drafts of my tax information, and I surprised myself with the percentage in which I doubled my income. Like literally, I mean, I doubled my income from the previous year, but the percentage in which I increased my income was astonishing to me. I'm not going to, do like some of these SEO people and go, oh, I did $1 million. No, I didn't, but I did a healthy number. And it didn't stretch me. And when I say stretch, I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't burnt out. I wasn't depleted. A client of mine was like, oh, I worry about you. You work so hard. And I'm like, no, but I designed my business this way. And it's not, I don't walk away from that thinking, oh, I'm exhausted. Don't get me wrong. I take time for me. And I'm all about self-care and I'm all about self-love. But I'm also about, working. I love what I do. And that's the thing. If you love what you do, you're in the right business. If you look at your business, you're like, oh God, I gotta do another video. Then maybe this is not the business for you. So again, going back to the things that were very successful for me in the past year that I'm moving forward with is the power of the pivot, knowing when to shift and change course when it comes to your business. And that's not about abandoning your business. That's about knowing when things are not working out and maybe you need to tweak or change something. Also knowing that there's no limits on what you can do and achieve. Again, I doubled my business in a quarantine. I'm still rolling around with that idea in my head. I doubled my business in a quarantine. The other thing is keep it simple, stupid. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be so intense. Just making small steps to get your business out there. Maybe you do a lead page. Maybe it's a one-page sales page. Maybe it's just a Facebook group. Whatever it is, just keep it simple. Don't make it so complicated. So many people look at the experts in their field and they try to become them. Well, you're looking at their highlight reel. You didn't see their earlier days. And I guarantee you, if you do one of those, there's a website that can take you back and see the earlier versions of these people's websites. It's simple. It's not complicated. It's not like what it looks like now. Yeah, they may have like somebody doing their hair and makeup and have like a stylist. They didn't do that before. I know one gal who is huge in the marketing field, and she basically has a very small closet. And I say that in terms of she just wears neutrals and she repeats things over and over again. It's almost like she's the Steve Jobs of the marketing world. She doesn't want to get bogged down with wardrobe as opposed to content. And that's the thing that I just want to share with you. Again, it's all about doing these things and watching your business grow and moving forward. As always, I put out content on a weekly basis. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like this video because that helps my algorithm. And also don't forget to share this to somebody you feel that could benefit. So many entrepreneurs are looking to start a business and need to hear this kind of support and guidance. So feel free to share that with them. And also don't forget to pop into the comment section because I love hearing what you guys have to say. What are your takeaways from this video, and what are you doing to expand your business going forward? And again, like I said, 2021 is about no limits. You can go as far as you choose to go. It's all about you. And that being said, I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.